Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Firefly, and today is a massive day. We are doing a ton of building and getting everything ready for the arrival of the first shipping vessel. Now, all going well, that should happen in the next day or so, Minecraft speaking, and, well, we're not ready yet. So right now, that massive shipping vessel is bound to just run straight into nothing. There's nothing there to indicate that we're here. So let's go ahead. We need to go and get a communications room built, as well as a lighthouse. So I've gone ahead and I've already gathered up all the materials I think I'm going to need, which is quite a bit. I had to go out and find a Badlands biome because I want to use some red sandstone, some red sand, and, well, the desert near me is pretty well stripped bare, so I had to find another desert to get some more sand to make some concrete because, well, we need a ton of it. And I've also decided I need to make a little machine that's going to make the process of converting the powder into concrete a little bit easier because I need dozens of shulker boxes. So let's get into it. In my excitement of making it out of the nether alive last time, I totally forgot to actually make my tools into netherite. So let's quickly do that. We're going to just do the basics, all my gear and the armor, and we'll see if I can maybe find some more later. Along with the absurd quantity of concrete I need, I'm also in need of just a stupendous amount of smooth stone, because that's the block I've chosen to use. So I whipped up a quick stone generator, and since I'm working in the area, I've got the furnaces smelting up the smooth stone nearby where I'm working. This view is about to change. I've made the decision that I'm going to connect my main land area to the little island to the right of me here, and I think I'm going to bridge the gap right between the farm building and the mainland using smooth stone, because that's where we're going to store all the shipping containers and build the actual dock area. Now, the little, currently an island, we're going to join that to the mainland, and that is where the lighthouse is going to go. And I'm thinking I'm going to do like a family swimming or camping area. Not sure yet. It's time to get some shovels into the ground. We're going to do some terraforming to build ourselves up a nice flat area, and to gather the last bit of resources we're going to need to actually join the mainland to the little islands that have been my base. And of course, I'm using a lot of sand because that's the natural material. Sandstone is also being used because I don't feel like going all the way down to the ocean floor here for my seawall. Now, once it gets flattened out, we can build upwards from there. So let's get moving. All right. So as you can see, I've gone ahead and built up a little bit of a seawall. Now, I don't exactly know what's going on with the sky right now. This is very strange, but it's Minecraft, so I'm not going to be too worried about it. We just have smooth stone blocks, and they go down a little ways. And then we've got some bricks and some slabs just to make it a little bit nicer. And along with the wall, I went and filled this whole area in, built a little bit of a private beach, and, well, I went ahead and just kept placing blocks. I think I may have overdone it just a little bit with my little seawall here. It's not as little as I meant it to be. In fact, it goes all the way around. I've even added to this little, well, it used to be an island. Now it's just an extension of the peninsula that I've built my base on. And as you can see, this is kind of reminiscent of what you would see on a coastline that encounters heavy seas or the occasional tsunami. But I built all this, and as you could briefly see there, I just carried on placing blocks, and we've got ourselves a lighthouse. And I just kept placing blocks. That's what's happened today. I decided to use some red sandstone and just started building the lighthouse. We'll see where it ends up here in a little bit. Hopefully it resembles an actual lighthouse when I'm done. Rather than make you watch me place all of this sand and all the smooth stone, I was kind of recording some short clips, and for some reason I clicked off instead of on when I started building this. I mean, it's not the craziest build in the world, but I had a lot of fun kind of experimenting with the different textures and different colors. And I mean, the walkway needs some work, but it's a start. And we've got tons of other builds in the process. And by in process, I mean quite literally, if I turn around, you're going to see most of a two-part build that's coming out right away here, and I don't really want to show that. So, got to be a little bit careful. But I mean, we've got tons of variety in the lower half, because that's where I essentially ran out of skill. I mean, this upper portion, I have some ideas, I just haven't gotten there. But if we come on inside, there's a ladder going up the purple blocks. Got ourselves the light. I used a copper bulb and some end rods because it kind of makes it seem like it's beaming the light out. And obviously, we've got a nice viewpoint here that you can't fall out of because walls and stuff. So that's my little lighthouse. It's nothing super fancy. It's kind of my first foray into the enhanced builds, we'll call, where there's some textures and some gradients and the beginnings of what I hope will develop into a much better building style. But this is also the point in my Minecraft journey and my online journey where we're going to transition a little bit away from just gameplay to an actual storyline. So, Firefly here is about to go through quite an ordeal. There's our ugly lighthouse. I made one change. And by one change, I mean quite honestly, one change. I added 2 end rods to the very top. That's it. Let's take just a few moments away from building to, well, experiment with some redstone, because I'm trying to come up with a more efficient way of converting concrete powder into actual concrete blocks. So I think we're just going to use a piston to push the powder past water, and then I have a big long line of actual concrete that I can then break. And I don't know anything about redstone, so don't judge too harshly unless you want to add to my knowledge, because this is a huge win. I've managed to make an observer trigger a piston whenever there's a block in front of it or that block leaves. So, I mean, that's exactly what an observer's for, but I figured out how to link them, sort of. I also discovered that you can power into a solid block and it'll power the attached piston. So, interesting. But this, it's working, but not. So, I'm going to just carry on with a little bit of tinkering. And, well, as you can see, I can't seem to get it to stay in one position, so it's a little bit awkward. But in the end, I think I've got something. This works effectively to make one whole line of concrete. So I think we're just going to kind of push it off in another direction so that I can build up, I don't know if I can do a whole square. Well, maybe I can. But let's see what we can get. And, I mean, I've basically duplicated this, and it should just push things along. And fast forward a little bit, turns out I was wrong. In the end, I did a little bit of research online, found what I was doing was going to work, but it wasn't the most efficient. And then I just sort of took a bunch of ideas that I saw online, put them together into a thing that's going to work for my needs, and this is what we came up with. Basically, the redstone is very simple. You place the dust on top of a torch, it triggers the piston, because I don't know how exactly, magic, but once you get to the end, I have another observer, it pushes the whole row. I would still be converting concrete powder into concrete blocks had I not made that little machine, and this is just the beginning. Something I did realize as I was converting all this, I do not have anywhere near enough red concrete, because that's going to be the primary color. So, I did what any good Minecrafter does, and I got distracted. Decided I was going to go spend some time pulling my hair out, dealing with villagers, in an effort to achieve a woodland mansion map. I think that's what it's called. This is a frustrating process, because you have to level up a villager, they don't want to unlock their trades, you have to spend a ton of time going back and forth, waiting, but in the end, we got ourselves a map. Now we can go chase that wonderful last bit that I've been after. I'm after, of course, armor trims. That's one of the last big things I need to achieve in this Minecraft world. And, well, the woodland mansion, trial chambers, ancient cities, the ocean monuments, and the pillager outposts are all places I have not yet been. I've managed to get super lucky with a few other trims that I found just in some random chests around the world. I don't think I'm going to get quite as lucky with this particular trim, though. Let's see what we can find by poking some holes. Yeah! Magic hands, man! That's not what I was expecting when I opened a hole in the ceiling. Ah, murder Muppets! What are these actually called? Because they hurt a lot. How do I hit these things? Oh, just like that. Okay. Ow! How is he still hitting me? Okay. So this is off to a wonderful start. I'm just going to call him Magic Hands Man, because wow. Hey, a chest. Oh, well, look at us go. Problem solved. Hello, where are you? Where is he? Where is he? Yeah, you can just go. Ooh, that guy hurts too. Hey, okay, I found him. Ooh, emeralds. Okay, run away, heal, heal, heal. Give me some hearts. Alright, well, I guess we don't get an option to get hearts back. Oh, there's two. That's not good at all. Okay, running away time. Running away time. Running away time. Things are going just fantastic, can't you tell? Come on, give me one more heart back, please. Come on. Okay, this is not good. We're done. We're dead. If there's anything in this room, we're dead. And as the instructions on the bottles of shampoo that I buy say, rinse and repeat until desired results achieved. And that's exactly what I had to do. Over and over again, I rushed in with nothing but a sword until I retrieved my gear. Because at some point, this guy wandered in. He got me once. And then I came across, well, this guy. He picked up all of my armor and my sword, and he was just savage. And I mean, like, one hit from full health. Well, I guess I'm not actually at full health, but if he hits me, I'm done. That's how good my sword really is. And then, of course, I run into other issues where I just have to kind of keep jumping in with a sword until I can clear the path. It goes well, as you can clearly see. But enough of this and some perseverance. We eventually get back down to our gear. We reset the timer so I don't have to panic too much about picking it all up. But man, fighting the guy with my armor and my sword is just, it's unfair. I mean, I get why monsters tend to just melt in front of me now, but don't let mobs pick up your gear. So eventually I persevere and I get him. I get my gear back and we can leave. To make sure that I got all the loot from this woodland mansion and to make myself feel just that little bit better about the ordeal I've just gone through, I lit it on fire. That I let the inner arsonist come out just a little bit because, you know, it's a video game. There's no real harm. And I must specify again, this is a video game. This is just pretend. Arson in real life is a very bad thing. But anyways, I've decided while I was watching this burn that we're just going to take the, the quick way home. Rather than put a ton of wear onto my elytra and use up a bunch of rockets, I've decided I'm just going to sacrifice an ender chest. So I've taken off all my gear, put it into a couple shulker boxes, loaded up the ender chest itself, double checking that I haven't forgotten anything, because this would be a terrible place to leave anything behind. And, well, we're just going to, do the thing where I respawn at world spawn, which is nice and close to my base. Sort of. Although it is nighttime, which means I'm going to have to deal with a bunch of mobs when I respawn. So let's see how this goes. It's one more death added to the tally, but I think it'll be just fine to save the 30,000 odd blocks. Turns out I actually built my base a little further from world spawn than I remembered. So between the fall damage and the two skeletons I had to dodge and weave and, well, avoid their arrows, this is going to be a little bit of a close one, I think. But it is so nice to see just the beacons of light. Well, not literal beacons, because I haven't done that part yet, but just to see the light from my base. It's so refreshing after such a struggle through the woods and the countless deaths at the hands of various inhabitants of the woodland mansion. Finally made it back to the base. Grabbed my gear. I mean, it was a perilous journey through that last night, but we made it. There was only a few little distractions. Isn't it so cute? I love baby turtles, but I never get a chance to see them. Now on to a trial chamber. And as luck happens, I discovered one accidentally because my mine that I built up under my base goes out over this direction under the ocean, and I happened to find a wall of copper. So I noted down the coordinates, and well, here we are. So I'm going to find my way in, which was easier than even I expected. I know nothing about these other than that they're made up of copper blocks, which unfortunately I'm not really using right now, but it's good to know for future use. So, from what I know, you just go in and you slay a bunch of mobs. So, let's go in and slay a bunch of mobs. Hold up. Let's set our spawn and get a little base camp going because, well, my history has proven that this is going to go well. Just absolutely well. But, let's hop in, find all these different spawners, and I've done a quick bit of reading, and I need to find some ominous potions. And then this will just kind of become my life until I get the trim that I'm after, which I think you can only get from the ominous chests. I'm not positive, but either way, bottoms up. So, first ominous spawner, and it's nothing too frightening, just some skeletons and zombies and the usual. So, let's keep going. And keep shooting the bow, and whoa, what is that? Cool. Oh, we're flying. All right, this must be one of those breeze. And this is what the trim is going to eventually look like. But I've been doing this for hours, so thank you so very much for coming along on this adventure. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and we'll catch you on the next adventure.